All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. We are here on a Friday Halloween live stream. Welcome in, Mickey. Welcome in, Yeshwant. Welcome in, Kegley, R Pink, and Anthony. Thank you guys for being here. Guys, we did see some hope yesterday with the daily close above our key anchored VWAP and above the value area low of our range. But was that a dead cat bounce to the upside before much lower targets are coming? We can look at today's price action. We can see what's happening. And really, the weekly close is going to be the important close that we have to look at for this week. So, welcome in, Fat Boy. Welcome in, Dr. Rex. Good afternoon and evening to you guys. Alpha G, thank you so much for being here. Okay, guys. So, afterwards, after the live stream yesterday, and actually during the live stream yesterday, right at the bottom at our 786, which is a common target to bounce between the golden pocket and the 786, I do think our golden pocket was a better target because we did have, if we put on that golden pocket, we did have a daily level and the value area low of our larger range there and our smaller range there as well. And we whipped past that golden pocket just a bit. We continued down to that 786 Fibonacci, and we did see a really nice bounce from that 786 Fibonacci, which would have at least given you a scalp trade if you did take that. I know a couple of you in the stream yesterday talked about taking that. Let's see. Is the volume okay, guys? Let me know. Check, check, check. Volume, is it okay here? Let me know in the chat. It should be fine. It's looking like it's coming up pretty good on my mic software and the audio equipment. So, anyways, guys, we are seeing Bitcoin see a little bit of a move down after we were chopping around. And last night, if I zoom in onto the 15-minute chart, after the bounce, first of all, before I go into that, let's zoom out to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see it was another wick past the anchored VWAP, but the candle body closed above our anchored VWAP and above the value area low of our range. So the bulls have some hope here. The bulls have a hope. And if we are looking at a bullish scenario to be playing out here, we can be looking still at that inverse head and shoulders or sort of distribution, accumulation, type pattern that we do see, the rounded bottoms that we often see at the bottom of major crashes. So that is a good sign for the bulls. They're trying to hold on. They're trying to keep this thing afloat. But if we zoom in now onto the 15-minute chart and we look at what happened throughout the night, let me go ahead. I'm going to delete this daily now because we've hit into it. We'll delete the 786 real quick. After seeing a nice push to the upside, and it did look like a three-way push to the upside, we started grinding in this ascending channel. And as we were grinding within this ascending channel, after flipping our VWAP bullish for the day or for the night, we were coming up to the POCs of the range. We did slightly front run those POCs of the range because we did hit our channel highs. Let me go ahead and fix this channel here real quick. There we go. Yeah, hit into the highs of the channel, and now we are dumping here. We are dumping, losing our channel. Sound is low. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? There we go. That should be good. Let me know if you guys can hear. I checked the live stream yesterday in the first 5 minutes, and at least on my phone when I was playing the live stream, the sound sounded pretty strong from the very beginning. But if I need to turn it up, I just turned it up a little bit. So let me know if that is working. Anyways, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, David Brumbelow. Welcome in, JP009, Get Fuzz, Alpha G, TNB Willa. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining the Telegram group. I appreciate it. Now, guys, earlier today, speaking of that Telegram community, earlier today, I did post in the Telegram community about as we were chopping within this ascending channel here, towards the end of the ascending channel, we saw a lot of longs, a lot of fresh long positions that were stepping in. This was from earlier today. You can see we were rising in price here. Our CVD was going up, and CVD is just market traders longing or shorting. So if your CVD is going up, that means market longs are coming in. And we knew those were fresh market longs because our open interest had been seeing a big spike to the upside. So new long positions were opening right into our resistance, right into our POC resistance. And anytime you see those positions start opening up towards the top, towards, even if it's a local move towards the top, towards a resistance, a local resistance, they often will get trapped in the reversal. We'll see a bit of a dump. They get trapped underwater, and we see the dump to the downside. We were also hitting the top of the ascending channel. I was expecting at least a move back down to the VWAP or to the bottom of the channel, but we did end up losing that channel. And right now we're in the process of a bearish backtest of that channel to see whether we are going to start continuing to push lower here. And I do have to say there is a possibility that we can continue to push down here. Now, it's a shame for the bulls that long towards the bottom here, or long even towards the bottom of this channel on this first pullback here, because when you see these long positions come in late, I mean, like, look how many longs were coming in. Look at our huge increase in open interest here, and this is aggregated open interest taking into account many of the exchanges here. Huge upswing in open interest, and we know those were fresh long positions. And then what happens right afterwards on the dump? Well, first of all, those long positions get stopped out. And that is why our open interest right now is decreasing to the downside, is because we see those long positions. And what is a forced sell on a long position? It's a market sell. And that's why we are seeing CVD drop right now. Our open interest is dropping right now, showing that it's not new shorts coming into the market, but really right now what is happening is those late longers are getting squeezed out of their positions, being forced to close their long positions, which is a market sell. And we know that it's not new positions because our open interest is dropping. So we're just seeing a little bit of a long squeeze to the downside right now. What we can say with a long squeeze to the downside, if we are going to continue bullishly, as soon as the long squeeze ends, if new short positions do not come in to sustain the downward price action, we can often get a reversal on that squeeze. So there is still a possibility. And with us going into the weekend, especially kind of it being a holiday weekend with Halloween, we might just continue to range within our range that we've been in for the past couple of weeks. If we look at this range since the dump ended, there is absolutely a possibility that we can kind of continue to kind of just grind in here for a bit throughout the weekend. And if we're going to remain bullish, we need to start to break out of this. And we want to see impulsive price action out of this range. We want to see an impulse to the top of the range and really a break of the value area high of the range and continuation up much higher, I would say. And if we can get that, I showed it yesterday, the basic target for that head and shoulders, that inverse head and shoulders, is a new all-time high. And it is to be coming back up towards the top of the pitchfork, which I do not have on the chart right now, but that's towards the top of this pitchfork here, where we could get a rise all the way up to about 132K, 130K. We're still a ways away from that. And the weekly candle close is what's going to be most important for us. So that is what I'll be paying attention to. In the Telegram community, I'm going to try to keep you guys as updated as best I can over the weekend on what's happening. But suffice to say that this weekend's close is going to be hyper important, because if we do close our weekly candle below the anchored VWAP, and it's our first weekly close below an anchored VWAP, we can expect continuation down and to take out our lows at 103.5, potentially even coming down to 101K, where we might see a little bit of a bounce only to backtest that anchored VWAP and then continue with the larger downtrend to the downside. So that is what I'm going to be watching. Now, I do want to talk about real quick, we do have some liquidity just below us coming down into that 105K area of support, where you can see this is our 2-week heat map, and the majority of the liquidity is just below. And with it being so close to us, that is going to act as a magnet to kind of pull the price down to stop out all those long traders that longed yesterday. Even if we are going to get a push up, oftentimes you will see those market makers come back down and stop out all the early longers before getting that push to the upside. And I would still say it could be classified still as a double bottom, or a accumulation pattern, or a inverse head and shoulders, even if we get one more low on the charts. But that is something we need to watch for. We do need to watch for that liquidity below us. And if we zoom out to the past month of price action, let's get that on the charts here. You can see that when we zoom out, we now have liquidity on both sides of us. So after coming down, because the liquidity to the downside is closer, there is a higher likelihood that we do continue down. Also, market structure is still bearish. We are still making lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. We still have not broken market structure bullishly, even on the hourly time frame. We need to take out the high at about 111.6 to break market structure bullishly. So if we break market structure bullishly, then we can start to look for some retracements for entries on longs. But until then, we could say, hey, money flow is still bearish here. Money flow is still leaving the asset. We did print a bear div in that ascending channel. You can see as this ascending channel is forming here, we are printing bear divs on NAMI. And let me zoom out. I believe it was on the 2-hour chart. We do have a hidden bear div signal printing on the high today. Hidden bearish div signal on NAMI printing on the high. Money flow still leaving the asset on market cipher B here, crossed over into the red, and our momentum wave has topped out here. And hidden bearish div signals are continuation signals. And so far this week, our trend has been to the downside. So there is a likelihood that we do continue this trend to the downside to make a new low. But after taking that low out, you can see we also have a lot of liquidity above the highs that were made at about 116K, 116.5. And we do know that we have a really important resistance level coming in up around, let's see, where was that? About 117.6K, where we do have the point of control of our large range in confluence with the golden pocket up at that 117.5 area. Let's see, where is that? Right there. POC golden pocket coming in right up above those highs. We also have the value area high of the range, of our larger range to the upside. That range is, let me pull this back, zoom out to the 6-hour chart, is the combination of the two ranges, or actually this is our 2025 price action macro range, excuse me. Yeah, 2025 macro range there. Value area high. And I do have to say, guys, if we do close another weekly candle back inside of this macro volume profile, in some ways it would be confirming reacceptance back within the volume profile. Another thing that we do need to watch out for as traders, because we are now starting to find reacceptance back inside of our main volume profile that goes from 92K to 117K, if we do see a fake out of this head and shoulders, a potential breakout, getting everybody bullish, but we hit into that POC of our range that comes from here of the last 2 months, and then we see the value area high, we grab the liquidity from the week high, hit into that resistance and reject, we could trap a lot of traders that are longing the breakout of a potential inverse head and shoulders. But instead of a breakout of an inverse head and shoulders, it's a liquidity grab of the top of the range, and then the bearish signal continues. And I've seen this in my years of trading over and over and over, where you have these pattern traders that are trading a pattern breakout. They're not trading the bottom support of the pattern, the left shoulder, the support of a left shoulder, but they're trading the breakout of the neckline, and they long the top of a range, and it takes the liquidity and reverses, and you trap a lot of traders up here, and that is used as fuel to start that long squeeze to the downside and potential volatile price action to the downside. So that is something that we absolutely have to be aware of over the next week. If we do grind up to that area and take out that liquidity that is resting right up into 117K, 117.5, where we do have the point of control and the golden pocket. Okay, let me check the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. Let's see. Volume is great. Okay, cool. Thank you, Mickey. Speaking to your mic. Okay, sound should be good now, guys. Just let me know if it's not. Also, let me know if it's peaking, because I did notice in my YouTube videos it was a little bit peaking out a little bit. Okay, better now. I see some are long, some short. When I'm in doubt, I watch the 10-year yield. It was 70% correlation according to AI, which is normal. But bonds equals government money. Yes, not looking good. Yeah, you're right. And that bond market really does give us a more macro perspective on the way the market is looking. So it's going to be interesting to watch what happens with that. And also, guys, we do know today is the last day of the month, and we are going to have a new monthly candle close. We are going to have some very important macroeconomic news coming in on November 1st, November 2nd, as far as catalysts in the market. And that could cause potential volatility, whether that's to the downside or the upside. So we absolutely need to be aware of that. It is interesting how these events are happening during the week and when markets are closed, and it can affect markets less. We often do see government kind of time it that way on purpose because they don't want to have a big negative impact on markets. All right, let's check this out. Time Attack, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding for me. I really appreciate it. Chad P, what's up, man? Welcome in. So, guys, this is just kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin now. We broke down from the small ascending channel. We were seeing the bear divs print on the ascending channel. We saw the hidden bear div. Now, one thing that we did see is we saw a front run of our POC. And because we saw a front run of that POC, if we get back inside of the channel, I do think we will come up and make a new high into that POC and maybe hit the top of the channel again. And then if we lose it, that's going to be bearish to me. But for now, we're kind of just chopping around in the bearish backtest of that channel, and we can watch that throughout the stream to see if we can re-enter back within that channel. And it looks like we're trying. We're trying to, continue this push to the upside. As I said earlier in the stream, this was a long squeeze to the downside. And if we do not see new short positions stepping in, we want to see this CVD continue down, and we want to see our open interest start to rise here, meaning new short positions are stepping in. Then we could see the price just continue right back up to where it was after the long squeeze ended. It stopped out those traders, and now the trend, the very local trend, could continue here. Around 117K, there is 200 million in OI, same as 111,900, same 200 million. We might get a squeeze there. Yeah, I think we could too. Let's see, 111.9. So that is going to be, yeah, those internal highs from yesterday. I mean, that would be nice to take out all these internal highs, the liquidity here. Grab that liquidity. I'm just going to be paying attention right now very locally to the backtest of this ascending channel. And we do have some decent money flow coming to the upside on NAMI and on Market Cipher B. But I am also going to be aware of that. If we see another rejection, we see a 1 test, 2 tests, sometimes you can even see 3 tests here, rejection, and then a continuation down. Let's pull our golden pocket from yesterday's lows to the highs that we made today. And did we hit that golden pocket? So that's another thing, guys. We did not come down and quite hit that golden pocket. And if this was going to be a bullish scenario where we're going to start to impulse up out of here, often that wave 2 will come down to the golden pocket area. I want to check, did we hit that 0.5 Fibonacci? Yeah, okay, we're bouncing from the 0.5 Fibonacci. And I believe there was a naked daily point of control. Let's check that out. No, it's a little bit lower. It's around that golden pocket area. Actually, it's even a little bit lower in the golden pocket. But yes, that naked daily point of control is also going to be of interest just because it's close to our anchored VWAP, our key anchored VWAP. Okay, to offset all the bear news, FOMC meeting December 16th, 17th, rate cuts, non-farm payrolls, December 5th, Blockchain Life Miami, November 5th, SmartCon, November 4th and 5th, Chainlink DeFi, okay, U.S. government opening back up, yeah, QT ending, etc. Yeah, there is some bullish catalyst that could be on the horizon. The thing is, November 5th is not that far away, but the rate cut in December, we do know that Jerome Powell did come out and say that's not a guarantee. That's not a certainty right now. I do think they will do another 25% rate cut. That's my personal opinion. But if they do pause, we know they're going to pause not just for 1 month. They'll probably pause for 2 or 3 months. And that is going to be a very bearish catalyst for the market when the market was expecting continued rate cuts. All right. Yeah, guys, it looks like we're going to try to make another attempt to get back inside of this channel. Let's see how this works here. We might need to range a bit. Absolutely. And remember, we are going into the weekend here, and weekends often range, and especially on holiday weekends where a lot of people are not staring at the charts and, actively trading. They're out with friends and family, kids, other things like that, just taking the weekend kind of for family stuff. So we'll see how that plays out throughout the weekend. I suspect tomorrow is going to be a slow day, but Sunday could be a very, very explosive day in markets. And we know that at least in the United States, Sundays midday is where markets open around the other parts of the world, and that generally does tend to get a move on Sunday. If we aren't getting rate cuts, it's because the economy is doing well. Yes, right, and that's exactly right. And right now, it does look like the jobs report, there is far less jobs coming in than expected, and unemployment is still, well, unemployment's at an okay level, but it's really going to depend on how I think the Fed is focusing on that jobs numbers. And if we do start to see jobs, kind of come back in, that could signal that they maybe are going to pause it. All right, we're pushing back up into the channel, guys. I want to check this out here. Nice push back up. Let's check our open interest here. So now we are just squeezing out. Let's see. We got some fresh long positions that stepped in. Okay. Yeah, got a little bit of fresh long positions that stepped in on this little drop here, and we're attempting to break back within the ascending channel. Heck, I would even look at this kind of small sideways range that we're seeing here of the past day or so. Breaking above the point of control of the range, looks like we might be able to come up to that channel midline, which is going to be where your value area high is, 110.5, 110.480, 110.5. And I bet you our golden pocket is going to be right up in that area as well. No, 786 is going to be up there, though. So 786, that could be considered a local resistance. And now here's the reason why I'm saying that. If we look on low time frames, let me just hide this range for just a second. If we look on low time frames, we were in from yesterday's low, we were in bullish price action. Higher high, we broke above these highs. That means we made a higher high. We broke market structure bullish. Then we made a higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high. Well, this was a lower low locally, but overall higher low. And then higher high. But this was our first bearish break in market structure since yesterday's low. We now have a first bearish break in market structure on this dead cat bounce to the upside, or on this bounce to the upside. We can't call it a dead cat bounce yet. By breaking the lows of the channel, actually, we didn't break the lows of the channel, but even by breaking this low here or this low here, we have broken market structure bearishly. It is actually very interesting that we didn't take the liquidity of the bottom of the channel. You guys will often hear me in my live streams and videos talking about when you have a channel structure and you break it to the downside, you will at least come grab the liquidity of the second pivot of that channel, if not sweep all the liquidity of the channel. And we did not quite sweep all the liquidity because we did not take out that channel low. But because we did break market structure bearishly, now there is a greater possibility of making a lower high before continuing bearish market structure and making a lower low. So because we did that, we do have to look at this 786, which is also going to be the channel midline, and it is going to be our value area high of our local range. Value area high, 786, channel midline. And if we do come up there with some bearish divergences on the chart or some bearish CVD in the order flow, then we might be able to take a scalp short here and look to come take out these lows that were front run just earlier today at 108,500-ish. Okay, if we aren't getting rate cuts, okay, I read that. It would be nice for BTC to be bullish, so my family invites me to Thanksgiving. If not, I'm going to need to someone in the chat, someone in the chat's house. FYI, yeah, time attack. I feel you there, right? You know, when my family asks me about crypto, I usually try to avoid the subject, and or you know they'll ask me, hey, what coin to buy? Is it a good time to get in? And sometimes you just don't want to explain the minutia of it to them all. You know, they'll say, "Oh, XRP is going to go to 100K like Bitcoin," and you don't want to give them the whole spiel of how it's not about the price of the coin; it's about the total market cap. And for XRP to go to $100,000, you'd have to have quadrillions of dollars in the market cap. And yeah, so can this inverse head and shoulders play out now? Thanks, November 5th full moon. Oh, okay. Hopefully that'll signal the bottom. Interesting. False Prophet, what's up, man? Welcome in. It's good to see you in here. I hope you're having a good Halloween day, and hope you have a good weekend, man. Thank you for being here. So can the inverse head and shoulders still play out? Wait, can this inverse head and shoulders play out now? Thanks. Yeah, if it is going to play out, it has to play out relatively soon. Like, there's no question about it. If we're going to see this inverse head and shoulders play out, it's got to play out soon. We cannot take out the lows of 103.5. That's for sure. And I would suspect that it is a very clean inverse head and shoulders. So that's the thing, too. When you get a nice, clean inverse head and shoulders like that, I mean, sometimes it looks too good to play out, but we could absolutely see this play out. You know, we could absolutely. There's the inverse head and shoulders. We could absolutely see this play out. And what if we're going to see it play out, we need to start impulsive price action to the upside. So we want to see a 5-wave impulse pushing up and specifically breaking our highs of the neckline. And even if we break our highs into resistance and see a bit of a pullback, say we see a 5-wave, we come up to this resistance, SFP, we see a bit of a pullback. On that pullback, you want to see a 3-wave corrective move. If we're starting to impulse down, that's going to be bad. That's going to be that bearish scenario where I talked about, where we see the fake out of the inverse head and shoulders just to grab the liquidity above us and then start to dump again. So we don't want to see impulsive price action to the downside after taking liquidity. We want to see a nice impulse up here with increasing volume. And then on the 3-wave pullback, you want to see decreasing volume as we're pulling back here. And we'll keep an eye on that, guys. I'm going to keep you guys updated in the Telegram. So if you're not part of the Telegram, remember, it's free to sign up for the Telegram. All you need to do is sign up with BYDFI. Let me just go into this real quick. BYDFI is a partner of the channel. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link, you can get minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees. You can earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some of the larger amounts into the exchange. You'll get $8,100 up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you trade in the futures markets. And they have some really great initial deposit bonuses. For instance, this $100 deposit bonus, it's a 50% deposit bonus, which is the highest I've seen of any exchange for $100. Also, if you sign up with my affiliate link and deposit that $100 into the exchange, that's your money to trade with. You will get the discounts on the trading fees. You will get the bonus. And then you can sign up for the Telegram. The link for the Telegram is in the description of this video. And all you need to do is click on that link. And once you've deposited the money into the account, type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be right up next to your little guy here. And that'll get you access to that Telegram group. And I do try to post my analysis and thoughts and even trade setups in there ahead of time. So sometimes when I don't have time to make a video or a live stream, I'll just kind of pop in there and say, hey guys, this is what I'm thinking, or hey guys, we rejected here. You know, earlier today, I actually popped into the Telegram as we were coming up in this ascending channel. And I said, careful here, guys. We just saw a lot of long stepping in towards the top up here, and we might squeeze them out. And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, just be aware, you know, the Telegram is there if you guys are interested in the Telegram community. Awesome. We are pushing back up into this channel. I'm going to be watching this 786 locally here. Let's just set a little bit of an alert here. Okay. Yeah. But BYDFI, partner of the channel. So if you're interested, links in the description below. Also, we do have a trading competition coming up in November. We don't have the date completely nailed down yet. It might be on November 5th, which, guys, if November 5th is going to be that full moon and that big volatility that's stepping in, that could be a really good trading competition. But with that trading competition, BYDFI is going to be depositing a minimum of 2K into the prize pool. And then depending on how much volume we trade within that competition, we can increase the money in that prize pool. And the top 5 traders in that competition will get 80% of the winnings, and the remaining 20% will be randomly distributed between 5 people that were in the trading competition. Next partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And guys, NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator. For me, it's crucial in my trading journey, in the way I trade. As we're coming up to key levels of support or resistance, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for confirmation to enter a trade or not enter a trade. And so I'm looking at bearish divergences. I'm looking at money flow. I'm looking at, bull divs, money flow. And for me, it's really helped me a lot to stay out of trades where it's hitting the level. Like, for instance, I showed you guys in yesterday's live stream, as we were coming down to that golden pocket down in this general area, we were not seeing the real nice confirmations that we wanted to see, especially on the hourly time frame. So I did not long that golden pocket, and I suspected that we might come lower, and we did. So NAMI, they have partnered with the channel. They are offering a 50% off discount code. If you're interested in purchasing NAMI, the link is in the description. The discount code, which is Divine50, is also in the description. And it's a great tool to use for me. So if you're interested, I suggest you get it while that discount code's still available. And then the last 2 partners of the channel are MEXC and Bybit. Both great exchanges, both offering futures trading bonuses and discounts on trading fees. Some initial deposit bonuses, 10%. I know there is a little bit of FUD going on with MEXC right now. So that's why I have multiple exchanges. If you do want to sign up, it's just a good way to help out the channel. Also, guys, please hit the like button. If you do get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream today, please hit the like button. It helps spread awareness of the channel. I do want to grow a rock solid community, have a good community in the Telegram, have a good community on the live streams where we can all bounce ideas off each other, help each other out in trades, and really develop a good community. Okay, let's get back to the TA here. Yeah, Bitcoin is starting to break back up into this ascending channel. So I think we're at least going to come up to this midline here. Generally, when you see a fake out of the channel, now it's interesting we didn't grab the liquidity, but you see a fake out of the channel and you do grab liquidity, then you get back in, you often will pump to the top. Now, because we didn't grab the liquidity, I'm going to be looking at a potential lower high because we still did break market structure bearishly by taking out those lows. So there is a potential for a scalp short position from this 786. If we're coming up to that 786, I want to see bear divs on like the 3-minute, the 5-minute, and money flow also starting to curl over, which right now we are not seeing, but we're not quite up there yet. And on the other hand, if we do come down right now and bounce from the bottom of the channel, you could be looking for a long just to take up to that 786 as well. It would be a very, very small scalp, maybe that lasts an hour or 2 hours, but you would be looking for your target up at that 786, and my stop would go right below the low of wherever that was. And that's still a really good risk to reward ratio. You'd wait for the bounce, so you'd probably enter up here, and it's still a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio on a very, very small scalp. You don't have to have large moves to make money in the market. So that's a way we could scalp that today during the live stream. And if that opportunity comes up, we'll look at that. Bybit grabbed Coinbase, but did not. Okay, thank you, False Prophet. So, guys, Bybit did take out that liquidity. Let's see here. Yeah, Bybit did take out that liquidity there of that. Actually, not the USD chart. Bybit USD did not. But let's see if USDT did. Yeah, USDT SFP that low. Okay, very nice liquidity grab of the ascending channel. Now we're starting to push up here. But with both USD and Coinbase not grabbing it, there is a potential we could come back down. Remember, we're in rangy type price action now because we're going into the weekend. Well, so Travie Trades, is it FUD or is it true? To be honest, I do not know. And I'm not going to lie to you. I have not looked into it in depth. Kind of had a busy morning this morning, so I don't know. And right now, all I would say is if you have any sort of concern at all, stay away from MEXC until we figure this out. There's other exchanges to trade on. With BYDFI, one of the reasons why BYDFI is my main exchange partner of the channel is because their customer service and their agent that I work with is so, so responsive. Any time of day or night that I text him, he gets back to me right away. Anytime anyone's had a problem signing up or a problem with the rewards bonuses, I just send them over the screen grab of the conversation. They handle it. They've been really, really incredible for me, and they are a great exchange. They have really good order books, and I love them. I've never had a problem with BYDFI. So for me, that's BYDFI is the exchange I'm trading on right now. I'm trading on a couple. Let me say that I'm trading on a couple exchanges, but BYDFI is one of the main ones. Okay, let me check the chat here. I showed them all on Chainlink, so pray for me. Hey, Time Attack, I am big into Chainlink as well. Actually, in this drop that we saw in the last few months, when Chainlink dropped to $14 and to $11, I was buying Chainlink on spot. It was one of the only coins that I was buying. And that was knowing that I might have to hold that through a whole entire bear market, 2 to 5 years or so. And so I am a big proponent of Chainlink. I think it's going to be good. I do think Chainlink can actually get up to $35 in this bull cycle if Bitcoin's not going to go into a bear market right now. I think that we can get up to this $35 area up here. And but first, I'm thinking Chainlink might come back down to hit that $14.3 to $14 area, and then we could get some nice explosive price action on Chainlink. That's at least what I'm hoping for on Chainlink. So good one. At least you're giving them good coins. Good coins with real value, real use cases, and real community. Yeah, what's the point if someone is not engaged? Thanksgiving is for eating, not for crypto, not crypto. Yeah, Mickey, I agree with you. For me, and also like, it's just easier not to engage in it if they're not really serious about it, because a lot of people that want to get into trading, they see that you're making money in trading and they say, "Oh, what is this? This is interesting, and tell me more about it." But then there's a big learning curve to trading. You have to learn about naked daily points of control, support, resistance slips, is position size, risk management, all these different things. And if someone is not willing to put in the work to actually learn, there's no point in trying to go into it with all of them. And a lot of people just say, "Hey, give me a coin to buy at what price?" And if it's a close family member, I will. I'll tell my brother, I'll tell other people, like, "Hey, yeah, if Chainlink comes down to $14, I plan to buy more." And then I say you can set a limit order there if you're planning on holding it longer term. And but other than that, I try not to engage too much. And it's also, I'm a big family man, so family for me is important, and I don't want to talk about business necessarily at these events. Okay, only the hexagons are worse. Oh my gosh. The XRP army argues that market cap fact with utility is a cult, I swear. Yeah, XRP can be crazy. Hexagons can be quite wild as well. Okay, I took an ETH along at 37.20. We'll go into ETH in just a second here, guys. Let me just read the chat a little bit more. They returned the $3 million to White Whale. Okay, so it looks like they returned that money. Mostly been sticking to DEX, so I can self-cust. Yeah. Okay. Okay, held for 3 years now. Awesome, man. Held Link for 3 years now. I've held some of my links since 2019, so it's basically go big or go home. That's how I feel, Pedro. Petro 222. And welcome in. Sudeep, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Halloween to you. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Also, Time Attack, False Prophet. Thank you guys. Travie Trades, welcome in to you as well. The best thing I did was hide the money amount and operate solely on percentage when trading. Yes. And guys, if you want to become a long-term trader, don't make it about earning a certain amount of money per week. You should always have another stream of income, first of all. But if you're trying to make it only about money, like I need to make $500 a week or $1,000 a week or whatever, you're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself, and you will generally make mistakes that way. So make it about the percentage, and also just make it you need to use risk management and learn the process. If you can't turn $500 into $5,000, then you're not going to be able to turn 5,000 into 50,000 or 50,000 into 500,000. So just learn the process of becoming consistently profitable. And then once you get that down, you can scale up the money. You can worry about that. But really, always you should be just worrying about, I think a good goal as a day trader is to make 1% a day, 5% a week, not including the weekends. So if you can make 5% a week, that is pretty good. And of course, one day you might make 3% in one day, and then you'll have 2 losing trades where you lose 2%. So now you're only up 3% on the week. And like at the end of the week, if you can be up 5%, I think that's a good rule of thumb. And as you start your account with a little bit of money, it's like that exponential growth curve. The growth at first starts slow and it's tedious and you feel like you're doing a lot of work for nothing. But as that account builds, it's that exponential growth curve becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And now once you get up into the $10,000, $20,000 range and you're making 1% a day of that, compounding it back into that portfolio, then once you start getting up into the bigger amounts, making 1% a day, you can make a comfortable living making 1% a day. So be patient at the beginning. What I'm trying to say is be patient at the beginning of this growth curve. This might take you 2 years to build the account from here to here. It might take you 2 years. And of course, it's probably not going to be steady growth. You're going to have ups and downs within this. But if you can honestly get the process and the discipline down, then it is absolutely possible to become a successful, profitable trader. And that is one thing I hope to show you guys and work in this community with. And I know there are a lot of good other influencers out there. Frankie Candles, Jason Casper, Andy Bitcoin Consensus, Coons Trading. Those guys are like proper teachers that want to teach you the right way and really want good for their communities as well. So if it's not with me, I just hope you find someone that's not just a shill trying to make money off of you or make money off of clicks. But yes, that is, that's what I would have to say on that. So, let's see, is it good, solid 2-year learning curve? Yeah, it's a good, solid 2-year learning curve for sure, man. You can know the basics in a few weeks. You really need to start to understand. It's also how much are you going to put into it? How much time and effort are you going to put into it? Because some people will really dive in deep, instead of going out on the weekends, they'll be studying price action. They'll be learning about charts, learning about technical analysis. And some people just, are not that big into it. I remember when I first started, I really was, learning, and I'm still learning, guys. Another thing as a trader, you constantly want to evolve and learn new things, learn new strategies, find a strategy that works good for you, but learn new strategies and try to evolve your trading as time goes on. Also, generally, the simpler trading can be, the simpler you can make your TA, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Find a strategy that's simple, that works, and stick with it. Jasa, what is up, man? Is this the Jasa from Jason's Discord? If this is, welcome in, man. It's so nice to see you here. Yeah, how have you been doing, man? It's been a while, so welcome in. Thank you for being here. Sending love from India. Yeshwan, thank you so much. It's already 1 a.m. here. Yeah, you go to bed, man. If you need to go to bed, you go to bed. Thank you for being here. Andrew, welcome in. Are you profitable? Yes, Andrew. Ramstat, if you can turn 40 into 2,388 next. Yep. I mean, just work on, building that portfolio. And of course, you are going to take losses, guys. There's no trader in the world that does not take a loss. Like it's about probabilities, and all the probabilities can always be in your favor, and you're still going to take losses. So you have to get used to that. And you also have to get used to not every time grabbing the exact low and selling the exact top, or grabbing the exact top and selling the exact low. That's not the way it works most of the time. You have to be comfortable taking profits, not at the exact top or not at the exact bottom. So, Jasa, man, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming here. Spaceman, welcome in. It's good to see you as well. Yarborough C Crypto, took me three to not just be profitable, but to control my emotions. Yeah, it's been great with TA for a few years. It's building strategies and being able to stick to it. Also cut losses quick and take profits. Yeah, and it's cut losses and take profits, but also it's about learning to have the discipline and risk management. And trust me, guys, you will go back and forth on that, because what happens with human psychology is we win 10 trades in a row, and then we start to get a little bit cocky and confident and say, you know what, instead of risking 1 or 2% this trade, I'm going to risk 5 to 10%. And then you'll win that trade, and you'll say, man, I could build this account so much faster if I risk 5% per trade or 10% per trade. And then that one bad trade that you have and you lose 10 to 15% of your portfolio, and then all of a sudden you're back months or weeks, and you just you have to have some discipline here. And that's what, don't get too cocky. The market will always humble you. If you think you're really, really great, the market can always humble you. I lost solidly for a year at least, and then lost less. Hedging really helped. Yeah, hedging is another thing, guys. That's why I think that strategy, Jason Casper actually was the one who kind of introduced me to this strategy of being in longs from the bottom and shorts from the top. Not, a lot of people, when they think of a schlong, they'll say, oh, I'm going to open a short and a long, but they'll open it from the exact same level. And then it's like that. There's no point in that. Now all you're doing is losing money to fees. But if you can have a long from the bottom of a support level and then short from the top, a resistance level, and take partials on both of those, and then let whichever one get stopped out and whichever one run, it is a great way to kind of always be in a winning position, and it also helps a lot with psychology as well. Okay, yeah, 38 to 40 wins in a row, and then market structure changed. Yep. And here's the thing: when you do see a market structure change, now you can shift that strategy instead of it, like say it was a bullish bullish strategy of following bullish market structure. Once that market structure changes, now you can change that strategy, same strategy, but use it bearishly. Okay, guys, I'm going to get into some of the alts. Let's check on Ethereum here. Ethereum is pushing up. Let's check this out on the hourly chart. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Look at the back test that we saw. So first of all, we did not, I'm so surprised we did not grab the liquidity of those 36.73 lows. It was a double bottom from yesterday. But after that double bottom, we were able to get back inside the value area low of the range here. And then we were able to break back above the pitchfork. And now look at what happened this morning. Back test the pitchfork band, and now we're pushing up. And I really do think we might be able to push up to this naked daily point of control around 39.88, 39.80-ish or so. Let's zoom out onto the 4-hour time frame here. What we don't want to see, though, as we're pushing up to that naked daily point of control and POC of the range, we do not want to see a 3-wave corrective move. That to me would be a bad sign. Let me just grab that. And so if we're going to see this kind of 3-wave corrective move up to this area after seeing an impulse to the downside complete, if you get that 3-wave corrective move, and then you could start dropping again. So let's pull our Fibonacci from the highs to the lows, and let's look at our golden pocket area. Yeah, okay, golden pocket, and then let's look at the 0.5. I like the golden pocket a little bit better. So golden pocket is near value area high of our local range. Let me pull this range all the way. Man, okay, so if we pull a golden pocket from the highs, these third highs, so if we're looking at a double 1-2, a 1-2, 1-2, this was all your third wave here, and we're going to have some 4-5s come in, and the impulse is not done. If we hit this golden pocket, and look at where this golden pocket is coming in, right at that naked daily point of control, then it will invalidate the double 1-2 impulse to the downside. Oops, why did I delete that? So 1-2, 1-2, and this is the start of your third wave, and then maybe we're going to get some 4-5s in here. That impulse is not done. If we hit this golden pocket at pretty much 4K, 39.88 to 4K, then it will invalidate the impulse to the downside. Yes, we could still reject from here and still come down and maybe see that grab of liquidity, but we wouldn't be expecting another huge impulse to the downside or the impulse to the downside to continue. Now, on the other hand, if we do reject between the 382 and the 0.5, which we've already passed the 382. You can see that's where we were finding resistance this morning, through all this morning, those wicks in there. Then we might see this continue. If we do something like this, we might see continue. We might get a couple new lows coming in here on Ethereum. But overall, I mean, money flow was coming to the upside here, and on NAMI as well, money flow crossing into the green here. I don't like the lack of bull divs that we saw. We really didn't see any bull divs. NAMI did print bull divs near the very bottom of the move. You can see these 4-hour bull divs here, or 1 hour, excuse me, 1 hour bull divs there. Let's go onto our 4-hour chart and let's see. Yeah, I mean, obviously NAMI printed these bull divs. This NAMI is a bit quicker, guys, than Market Cipher B, so it will print those bull divs. And look at the money flow, nicely curving up, about to cross into the green here on NAMI. I would just be aware of a lower high. And the reason why I say that is because we still did break market structure bearishly. By taking out this low right here, we have broken market structure bearishly. And because you broke market structure bearishly by taking out your last major low on the 4-hour chart, there is a possibility of rejecting a golden pocket. Now, you would really want to pull the golden pocket from the high of the impulse to the low of the impulse if this was a completed impulse. And you might be able to see something like a 3-wave move up to that golden pocket. And if you do make that lower high, you see a bigger 3-wave move. Now, within this first wave, it's going to be impulsive. You're going to see a zigzag correction to the downside here, and then another impulse up, a smaller fractaled impulse up, and rejecting from that value area high golden pocket might be, and that's, this might take another week to do, or another few days to do. So, and it's just, to me, the fact that we did front run the liquidity at 36.73, and let me check the other chart. Yeah, we front ran it on both Bybit and on Coinbase. So that to me is kind of shady there, a little bit shady. If you were really going to see an impulse up after seeing this drop here, generally the market makers will stop out all the liquidity that was in this general area, and then they get the impulsive price action up. Okay, let's, but as far as Ethereum goes, on our more local pitchfork, let me just get rid of some of this stuff. On our more local pitchfork, you can see on the drop today, we bounced from the pitchfork. We're back testing the pitchfork bullishly after this kind of ascending channel that we were seeing in here. We fell out of the ascending channel, back tested the pitchfork band, and now we're pushing up. We're even taking out the highs of the channel on Ethereum. And for me, it is likely that we at least continue up to that 0.5 Fibonacci of the wave 3. So we would pull this from this third lower high down to these lows, and let's just put on that 0.5 at 39.26, 39.27. And if we break above that, then I really do think we're going to come up to that golden pocket and invalidate that would mean that this impulsive price action to the downside that is most likely completed. Okay. That advice right there was gold. Awesome, Travie Trades. Well, I'm super helpful. If I do have any advice that helps you guys, I'm really happy to hear that. So thank you for that kind comment. I really appreciate that. I find that leaving runners has really helped me not to have the need to get back into another trade. Yeah, Blair, one of the biggest mistakes I made personally in my own journey, but I've seen a lot of more beginning traders make, is they always feel like they have to be in a trade. They always feel like, I have money sitting in the exchange doing nothing and I want to be making money. So they'll force themselves into a trade that's not necessarily a good trade or a high probable trade just because they want to be in a trade. And over trading is one of the things that is a mistake that a lot of people make at least some point in their trading journey. So if you can learn to only take, be okay not being in a trade and only take good setups, but also that hedging, if you can learn how to hedge, in that way, you're always going to generally be in a trade. If you're short from the top and long from the bottom, or, in between some of those levels, then it can help with that psychology as well. And psychology is a big part of what happens in these markets, your own psychology. I lost almost 5K because I was listening to Andy's bullish bias on Atom, ETH, and Aster. I prefer neutral to TA since then. Golden liquidation, I'm sorry to hear that. I will say Andy is a good trader, and he's an Elliott Wave trader, similar to myself. He uses it even more than I do, but he does try to give you both scenarios, and he generally does have a bias on which scenarios like he wants to play out or he thinks is going to play out. But once again, things do happen in the markets. There are black swan events. There are, macroeconomic news that does affect markets and everything. And no trader is going to get it right 100% of the time. And so, yeah, I understand that. I understand, even when this drop, the big drop a couple Fridays happened, I was really, really surprised by that. And I lost a lot of money on getting stopped out of positions that I was massively in profit on, and it was really hard for me. And I know a lot of people got ruined on that as well. So there are things that happen in the markets, and if you lost money, just keep going with it. Start to rebuild it, and also, I do one of the reasons why I focus on education in here is because I explain things to you guys because I want you guys to learn it for yourself as well. And when you have a bunch of good traders that all know and have similar but different strategies and kind of all can help each other out in a community, that's when you can get really good community. And as a community, you can get really good at dominating the markets together. And that is really what I'm trying to build in my Telegram community. So I do suggest everyone try to learn a strategy and figure out a strategy that works for you. Where if you can't watch a video or if you can't get into a Discord or Telegram at the time, you can do that TA on your own, and you can kind of still manage yourself. And I know Golden Liquidation. I know you're a good trader, so yes. Options are going to expire in 8 minutes. Okay. There was a 1 hour hidden bull div. Nami bull div on ETH at the bottom. Okay, yes. I think we were just looking at that 1 hour bull div. Yep. Between these two lows here, 1 hour bull div. Money flow was already coming to the upside. The thing with me, false profit, is I wouldn't have taken this just based off the bull div alone because we were so close to grabbing that liquidity. I would have waited personally for a little bit lower to grab the liquidity. Now, if we would have grabbed the liquidity with this bull div and this money flow rising to the upside like this, I absolutely would have longed that in a heartbeat. But we didn't grab the liquidity. And for that reason, I did not long down there. Also, we were streaming. I was all over the place yesterday. We were looking at altcoins while we were bottoming out. And it is hard to try to live trade and stream at the same time. Okay, I always tell people who really feel like they have to be in a trade to set up and do a trade at 2x for $20 and just watch it go. Basically, cheap entertainment. That's actually David Brumbelow. That's actually a really good advice there. Because now they have some investment in the market. They're paying attention to the markets because they have some money in there, and they don't feel like they have to get into a trade that doesn't work because they're in one, even though it's low leverage and low money. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and if you feel like pushing buttons, demo trade. Yes, you can demo trade as well. And a lot of people will recommend, a lot of traders will recommend demo trading at first until you can become profitable. I actually don't recommend demo trading. I recommend trading real money, but like a small amount, say $100 to you. If you lost $100, it's going to suck, but it's not going to destroy your rent, your groceries, or anything like that. Take that $100 and trade with that $100 because then your real emotions will be involved because real money's on the line. But do it with such a small amount or a small enough amount where if you lost it, it would suck and you would be bummed, but it's not going to ruin you. It's not going to ruin you. It's not going to, it's like if you spent $100 bringing your wife out to dinner and, oh God, it sucked that I lost that $100. Now I can't bring my wife out to dinner, but it's not going to ruin anything big time. Now your wife might say something different about that, but yeah. Okay, so Ethereum, guys, we're bouncing. I'm going to be looking at that naked daily point of control, and let's check out some of our levels. Yeah, a weekly level is also up there. I want to make sure that's a fresh weekly, though. No, it's not. We busted through it yesterday. But because we busted through it yesterday with no real reaction, it still could be almost like, I guess we got some sort of reaction from that area. So that weekly is there. It's not naked anymore. And of course, yesterday we were looking at that $3,800 mark, which was where the golden pocket, the daily, the value area low, and the pitchfork band was. We busted through it. We saw a little deviation through it, but now you can see it's still holding a support. But that daily's also been tapped as well. So we can actually go ahead and get rid of that daily. And I will also get rid of that weekly. Naked weekly point of control. I believe that one was tapped as well. That was from yesterday. Let's just double check that. Yeah, that naked weekly was tapped. It's weird how TradingView does this, but if you go on the hourly chart, watch this naked weekly was right there. So we tap that. We can get rid of that. Ooh, okay, guys. We bounced from a naked weekly point of control yesterday. That is why we didn't front run, or we didn't grab the liquidity. We were bouncing from a naked weekly point of control. Interesting. And then our naked dailies here. Okay. Yeah, so that general area of the POC naked daily point of control is going to be a resistance above where I'd be interested in looking for a potential at least scalp short opportunity. And of course, we do have a new one. All right, we have a new naked daily from yesterday's candle close. That's going to be at 37.84-ish. Okay, not financial. Okay. Demo's probably better, bigger number. Yeah, people who need to be in a trade feel a rush. That's true, Travy Trades. You can go as big as you want, and then you can get that like what dopamine hit from seeing a big number on the screen. You need to live life on stake all the time. Yeah. What's up, Amachi HK? Welcome in, man. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a good Halloween. I hope you have a good weekend. But thank you for joining the live stream. If I take my wife to dinner for $100, something else needs to. Yes, right, Anthony. I feel you there, bro. That's funny. Yeah. Well, dude, nowadays, if you go out to dinner, even at like a freaking Outback Steakhouse or something like that, it feels like you're dropping $100. It's you just get 2 steaks for dinner and an appetizer and a couple drinks, and it's $100 easy. Include the tip. It's crazy how expensive stuff is getting. Okay, guys. So for Ethereum, let me check actually on larger time frames. I still am watching to come down to double bottom that low. And we spoke about this in depth throughout the whole week. So I would like it for that to happen. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen because you can see throughout the week, we've been getting a lot of wicks past our pitchfork band, the top of the pitchfork band, but overall it is holding. And because we did reject the top of the pitchfork, we saw that move down to the pitchfork band. But if it keeps holding over and over, we could get that reversal back up. Now, I will say this, every time you tap into that pitchfork band, it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And if we do reject, we could drop now all the way down, slice through it this time. It could actually break this time. So eventually it's going to break if we keep testing it. And we're already breaking it on low time frames with all these wicks. But as far as higher time frames go, probably the daily time frame, we're not really seeing anything. Yeah, so just some wicks past it, but overall holding it as support. And I still at macro bias bullish is to make a new all-time high on Ethereum just based off this Elliott wave count from the 4-year long value area low, tapping the 4-year long value area low, impulsing up, correction, correction, and then I still want to see one last impulse on the daily time frame, a 5-wave impulse up. And so all of this here could be part of a 4th wave complex correction where we did bounce from our target of 3,500. And then we're going to see an impulse up. Now, that impulse up, if I go on to my other chart, my other Ethereum chart, I have this already kind of marked out here. And what I'm looking at, that was a theoretical fib from yesterday, but what I'm looking at is that 59.75 area. Because if we start to impulse up out of here, even if we double bottom on 3,500, now this is Bybit, so the wick went lower on Bybit on the crash, but I'm looking at 3,500 as the bottom of that crash. If we do $3,500 double bottom at 35, and then we start to impulse up here, I want to see us come to the top of the pitchfork where that 1.618, and that 1.618 is based off of taking it from the highs of wave 3 to the current lows of wave 4. And if you put on that the wave 5 targets between the 1.618 and the 1236. Now, here's the thing, guys. Coinbase bottomed out at 3,500. So if we bring this to about 3,500, that's close. Then you could see it could be a little bit lower, but in that general area is where we're looking, towards the top of the pitchfork. So, 5,800 to 6K or so is going to be around where your wave 5 Fibonacci or your 5th wave target could be for that overall impulse. And if we get up there with continued bear divs on the daily, on the weekly, I absolutely will be selling spot up there and looking for swing short opportunities. Inflation hits hard. Hell yeah, it does, man. Solana looks like it got a slow puncture. Feels like more lows coming in. We'll check Solana out right now. I thought you meant steak, not steak. Yeah. All I eat is ribeyes and hamburger. Full on carnivore here. Nice, man. I love steak. I don't do steak, though. I don't need that much excitement. Crypto's exciting and risky enough. Yep. Could you check the trend line taken from each low that we made since 103K? You can see we are rejecting exactly at the retest of the trend line. Okay, so Adam, I'll check that out. So each low since 103K. So that, I'm assuming you mean that 103.5K area. And if let me zoom in first off onto the 2-hour chart. And if we look at a trend line, from 103K to the next higher low here, is that what you're talking about there? That trend line. And yeah, I mean, I guess we haven't quite made it up there today yet, if that's the trend line you're talking about. But I'm going to go into Solana. Let me know, Adam. I'll check that out when you let me know. But we'll go into Solana real quick. I'll go into AVAX next. Guys, Solana did bounce from our anchored VWAP again. And here's the thing. Solana, I do think Solana might be coming lower because we made our initial lows into our initial box of support super perfectly. Like that we had this box of support on the chart way before we came down here. We bounced from that on the dead cat bounce, but we rejected the channel, the pitchfork midline. And now we're kind of forming that range around the lower band of the pitchfork. But you can see here, higher low, almost grabbed the liquidity, but didn't. And overall, it was wickage past the 2 anchored VWAPs, but we did not really close below the anchored VWAPs. Then we came down to the anchored VWAPs again, bounced from the anchored VWAPs again, and now yesterday came down to the anchored VWAPs, bounced from the anchored VWAPs again. And so eventually these anchored VWAPs might give way and we might come down to that like 170 area, grab liquidity of all of this. All of this is building liquidity to grab. And even this higher low now too. We have 4 higher lows that are very slightly higher where we have a liquidity trail building and we could sweep them all together really quickly, come down to the bottom of the pitchfork where we have a naked daily point of control. Right now on Solana, I am looking at, actually yesterday, I was looking at, let me go to the 30-minute chart. We were chopping around after bouncing from that area. We re-entered back inside the volume profile. So that is important. We are back inside of our volume profile. And I was looking at the back test of the pitchfork band. Where was that? It was somewhere yesterday. We back tested the pitchfork band and we were continuing to make new highs here. And I do think we might, at the very least, be able to come up to the top of this pitchfork band around 191. And then just above us, we do have a golden pocket at 193.6 where your point of control is. And if you take a golden pocket, I believe this one is looking at our impulse to the downside not being completed yet. So if we're looking at a bunch of like 1-2s in here, 1-2s, 1-2s, this is your big third wave here, 4-5, 4-5s. We're going to see this impulse continue down. Then if we hit this golden pocket, it's an invalidation. So you do not want to hit this golden pocket. You really want to hit the stop around that 0.5 Fibonacci, which is actually what we just hit earlier today. And you could even come a little bit higher to tap the pitchfork band, but as long as you don't hit 192.87, this impulse still has a possibility of continuing down. So let's see if we reject here. But if we don't, if we come up to 193, yes, we can still see a rejection from that area, but I would be looking for a higher low on the charts before continuing to push back up, maybe up to value area high. And if we pull a Fibonacci from the highs to the lows, Okay, golden pocket's not quite at that value area high. Let's see, is our 7-8. Man, I don't like that confluence there. Let's check some other levels here. Do we have any dailies? No, we did tap this daily yesterday, so I'm going to get rid of that at 180. No naked monthlies, naked weeklies. And that naked weekly, I believe, has been tapped as well. Okay, and the naked daily point of control from yesterday is we do have a new one below us, so we'll mark that out. Let's just do this. One. It's close enough. 183. And of course, this one, if we close today, I'm not marking this one out yet because the daily close hasn't happened. Money flow looks pretty good here on NAMI and Market Cipher B on the 30-minute chart. Let's check the hourly chart. Yeah, money flow still looking pretty decent here. We are setting up for potential bear divs. So if we come up to that pitchfork band and reject, we could be setting up for some bear divs here. And already starting to see bear divs here on NAMI. And then the money flow is also starting to see bear divs here. So just be aware that 191, like 191.2, 191.3 could give us a rejection. And that would still mean this impulse to the downside is still going to play out here and come for the lows. And coming down to that 170 area where that naked daily point of control is. Let's see, is there naked weekly? Nope. Naked daily at 170 at the bottom of the pitchfork. And it would grab all the liquidity. But yeah, I think that this range, so you can see our range since the big crash happened. Our range is really between the pitchfork midline. Your range highs are up here, the dead cat bounce highs, and then the bottom of the channel, the pitchfork band. And this is kind of the range that we're forming in here. The sideways range, there is absolutely a possibility that we could come take out the highs of the range one more time before coming to take out the lows of the range as well. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but play the range until it breaks. So look, if you're looking at this range, you want to look at liquidity levels within the range, like liquidity grab here, liquidity grab here. And then you want to look at your volume levels of naked daily points of control, your value area high, your POC, and your value area low. And locally, you can see that we do have that golden pocket coming around the POC. And then at our value area low, we have the 786 from today's move up. So if we just look at this Fibonacci pull from the lows of yesterday to today's highs, you can see that 786 is coming in at the value area low. Now, that will change if we make new highs today, but that's kind of what I'm looking at for Solana. And then I really do want to see us come take out those lows personally, down to about 170, maybe 171 or so. Okay, I would suggest that you take the trend line from the retest and drag it backwards to 103K. It'll then, so, okay, hold on, let me see. And we'll check AVAX and we'll check Chainlink as well, guys. From the retest, okay, wait, suggest you take the trend line from the retest and drag it backwards to 103K. Are you talking about the retest today? So hold on, this retest. Something kind of like that. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I honestly would base it off the low and then the next higher low here. And if you do that, like that's how I had that ray. It does come out a little bit higher. But yeah, I see what you're talking about. That trend. was our uptrend. And of course, we broke that uptrend to the downside. So anytime you have a bullish trend like this, you break it down, you often will come back for a retest. And if you fail that retest, you can expect lower. If you can get back inside of it, you can expect the trend to maybe start continuing again and maybe a bigger impulse to the upside. Okay. Oh, looks better on the Binance chart from 100K. Okay, I see. Okay, real quick, let's go into AVAX here, guys. So AVAX, we are kind of bouncing from our pitchfork band, but I did talk about this yesterday. So let's go zoom out to the 2-hour chart now. And actually, I'll go on to my Bybit or Binance AVAX chart. But what we were looking at, and I did say this in the live stream yesterday, right at that $18 level, we had I believe it was a naked daily point of control or a daily level. We had some support there. Value area low of the range. But I don't have my object tree nice on this one right now. But I'm still looking at 16.5. Let's just say that. I'm still looking at 16.5 because that is your weekly level, and that's the bottom of your, first of all, it would grab the liquidity from the Coinbase lows. You can see I have an alert already set. It is also the bottom of the pitchfork band. So we're bouncing from the top of the pitchfork band. We have the bottom of the pitchfork band. So grabbing that liquidity into the weekly in the bottom of the pitchfork band would be really nice. And then we also have a macro value area, I believe, there. There's a couple volume profiles we could pull. We could pull the big daily one from the end of this impulse over. Yeah, value area low was where we were at yesterday. So it was the value area low and pitchfork band at 17-ish, and that's where we're bouncing from right now. We're attempting to bounce from that little value area. But we also could see a little bit of a deviation below that value area to hit the weekly. And then if we look at our lower range, so let me hide this range now that we just pulled, and we look at our lower like accumulation range that was forming in here. Yeah, we're losing that value area low, but let's just pull it all the way. And that's where your value area low was as well. You could even pull this to the bottom here. And that's what I was looking at here. This value area low, if we wicked a little bit past that, grab the liquidity and hit the weekly in the bottom of the pitchfork band. So I am looking at $16.53 to $17. It would be really nice. And then also that would give you your daily bullish divs, because with the wick low that we made on the crash, we have not made bull divs yet, but you can see here, if we come down and grab that low into your weekly and into the bottom of the pitchfork band, nice bull divs on the daily, and it would also create super nice bull divs on the daily on NAMI as well, and money flow curving to the upside on NAMI. So when you see momentum bull divs on Market Cipher B with money flow starting to bottom out, and when NAMI has the money flow bull divs and momentum bull divs, that is a for sure signal. So I'm looking for potential swing long opportunity from 16.5 if we come down there with daily bull divs and SFP the lows of 17 into 16.53 or around there, you know, and then get a move up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for me. Also, as far as our impulse to the downside, let me just hide this channel real quick. And it would also be the bottom of the channel, guys. Let me zoom in real quick before I show you the impulse down. It is also, I pulled this was not on yesterday's live stream, but let me clean this chart up just a second for you. If we look at this channel, since the crash ended, we've been in this kind of corrective channel down. And you can see here, the bottom of the channel is going to be coming in right around that weekly, right around the SFP of the lows, and right around our pitchfork band. And because we lost our channel midline, we're kind of in the process of back testing it now. If we fail, I do think we can get that move down. And so it would be really nice. There's a lot of confluence down there. And of course, towards the end of a volatile move, remember, selling exhaustion kind of starts, and you get these descending channels. When you hit the support of that descending channel, if you start to impulse up out of here, it's going to look really, really nice. So for me, that 16.5 area, we do have bearish money flow still, and we're printing bear divs and hidden bear divs on, you know, more intermediate or lower time frames, and money flow still coming out. Money flow is kind of bottoming out on NAMI. We'll have to see if we reject this midline or not. But I would be suspecting that we could come down a little bit lower. And then as far as the impulse goes, so from the highs that we rejected our golden pocket at $35, $36, you can see a very clear wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 here, wave 4, and now are we in a 5th wave impulse to grab the lows of wave 3? As soon as you do that, you'll finish your 5-wave impulse to the downside, and then you want to really start to push up out of here. Even if it's going to be a lower high, even if this whole move down is a 5-wave impulse, you now, after that impulse completes, you expect at least a relief rally to your local golden pocket, which, guys, I think we looked at this. This is right now, this is a theoretical golden pocket because I put it right on top of that weekly. This was from Tuesday's live stream or yesterday's live stream. I can't remember which one, but you can see that that golden pocket would be right around the value area high and right around a very important support resistance flip as well. This red line, resistance, 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 then it acted as support, kind of support right here before the big crash. So if we come down to 16.5, we might be able to see that 3-wave corrective move coming up to that general area of the golden pocket, or maybe even just the pitchfork midline there. But I am looking for a decent move. If we come down to 16.5, at least a decent relief rally on that. Okay, let's see. What was the other one we were going to look at? Solana, AVAX, Chainlink. Honestly, on Chainlink, I'm still just looking to come down to that $14.3 to $14 area. But if we zoom in here on Chainlink, we're below. Now, this support box, we obviously busted through it with no reaction yesterday. It was our value area low. It was our golden pocket and we had a lot there. We had the pitchfork band. We had the weekly level. It was our 786, not our golden pocket. Value area low and a daily level. So we had a lot of support in that area, but we busted straight through it. No reaction there. We can get rid of that now. And now we're back testing after losing the value area low of our local range. We're trying to get back within it again, but we're back testing our pitchfork band. And if we reject on the bearish backtest of the pitchfork band, then we might be able to move down to the bottom of the pitchfork, which is at that $14 area. So you can see we're kind of backtesting POC. Value area low is shifted, is a little bit lower, but we're backtesting this general area. If we can get back inside the pitchfork band and above the POC, then I do think we can at least see a move up to the top of the pitchfork band. And I bet you that's going to be where our golden pocket is. Actually, no, it's not where our golden pocket is, but if we pull, it's going to be around where your 786 is. And even if you want to pull that from just the most recent crash, that general area there. Let's see, golden pocket is, I don't like where that golden pocket's in the middle of nowhere. We might have a naked daily point of control around there. Let's see. No naked dailies. Ooh, you can see on earlier today, that drop earlier today, we front ran that naked daily point of control from yesterday's close. That's a bummer. But once again, guys, we're kind of just chopping within the bigger pitchfork band. You often see these ranges form within the big pitchfork bands in and around them. And we're kind of still just within this consolidation range here. I personally would like to come a little bit lower. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I would like to come a little bit lower. And the way that this looks in here, kind of like some 1-2s in here, this was your big 3. Now we could get some 4-5s and 4-5s coming down, at least at the very least coming to grab your lows at 15.7, but we might continue dropping all the way to like the $14 area. Let's see if we hit our invalidation for the impulse down. So yeah, not yet. This golden pocket coming in at 17.8, because if let me zoom in onto the 1 hour time frame so we can get a better look at this. If we're seeing a bunch of 1-2s in here, 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, and then this is the start of your third wave here, your third wave, then you want to see some 4-5s, 4-5s, 4-5s finishing, because you get that kind of grind at the beginning, your big push down and grind at the bottom. And we want to see now us rejecting between the from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3. We want to see us rejecting between the 0.382 and 0.5 Fibonacci, which were in that general area. We could see continue push down. And even actually what I would say, even in your wave 3, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't even look like we're done with our wave 3 yet. So if these are all 1-2s in here, your wave 3 has one more low to be made, and then you start getting your bigger retracements in 4-5s, 4-5s. And that would make sense if we're going to come down to $14. So this downtrend might continue here, is all I'm trying to say. I mean, yeah, and once again, because we're making higher lows here, guys, we're not seeing the nice bull divs we want to see. If we were making a lower low and this was bottoming out here, like if we came lower, we would have some nice bull divs here on the charts. Bull divs on the charts here. But because we're making higher lows, those are not bull divs, they're just trigger waves. But yeah, Travi Trades, AVAX does look undervalued. That's why I'm looking for swing longs in this general area. If we get down there, I'm looking for swing longs, because here's a good example, guys, of some of that chop. You know, you get the kind of the chop that happens up here. You get your big flush down, and then now we're starting to get chopped towards the end here. And I want to see, and that's seller's exhaustion. This is a little bit of selling exhaustion taking place. So when you actually hit a nice support level, you could start to impulse up. Now, I do have to say, because we have a macro value area low at the top of this pitchfork band, this could be the low. We might not make it down here. But as far as the impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, it would make sense to make one more low below $17. Hence where that 16.5 comes in. And that might not happen until next Monday. We might just continue to kind of chop within this little area, this channel, until we get down there. Yeah, Sol's going to follow BTC. Everything's really going to follow BTC. I mean, and actually, let's check BTC dominance out. Yeah, I'm thinking lower once those buyers run out, that level breaks. Yep. Okay. Yesterday. Okay. Yeah. Time Attack, thank you so much for joining. Have a good one, man. You want AVAX to go to $8. Dang. Well, it could, because the Bybit chart went to $8, $8.50. What's up, Mark Dutch? Welcome in, man. You can take off that Halloween mask now, Divine Hood. You scared? Hey, man, I was just trying to play with you a little bit. I wanted to get you excited. No, but welcome in, man. It's not a mask. Oh, no. It isn't a mask. Welcome in, man. Yeah, they are nice socks, huh? Halloween pumpkin socks. But welcome in, man. It's good to see you. Is it too late to long SUI AVAX Chainlink? I don't think it's too long, but I'm not longing now. I'm waiting for one more low, just like I just explained on AVAX. I'm waiting for one more low, or at least now a retracement. Let me go back to AVAX real quick. So if you are waiting, you know, actually AVAX is still near the macro value area low. If I turn on that macro range, not that guy, this guy here. That macro value area low. Let me zoom out onto the daily time frame, and let me get rid of some of this. This was a theoretical fib or golden pocket, but yeah, you can see of this whole upper price action. We're at the value area low of the range in confluence with your pitchfork band. But as far as Elliott wave analysis goes, I just think 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we could be in a contracting diagonal in a wave 5 to fend it, ending diagonal. So I really think 16.5 is going to be a good level where your weekly is. You would SFP the Coinbase crash lows. And it's the bottom of the pitchfork band. So that general area, and it's the bottom of the channel too. That to me is really where I'm looking for. But if you're looking at a swing long position, I still think you're at the value area low of your range, of your macro range. So I don't think it's too late to get in, but you have to adjust your position size based off that stop loss, of course. Okay, Bitcoin dominance. Guys, Bitcoin dominance is boring. It's just continuing to slowly grind up here. I do think that it looks like it wants to roll over. Like this to me looks like a weak move to the upside. Of course, we did have the huge spike during, God, that was a horrible circle, during the crash. But other than that, and let me zoom onto the 8-hour, because on every other time frame, we actually didn't make it up to the back test of the channel and the golden pocket. On the daily time frame, for some reason, it does show that back test. But if you go on to any other time frame, well, I guess on the higher time frames, it's showing that back test. But and let's say that we did back test it. Okay, here's the thing: you had almost a 3-year long trend, almost since what, March of 2023. So almost a 3-year long trend of Bitcoin dominance going up in this trend line. We hit the top of the channel, but once we broke market structure bearishly by taking out this daily low here, now you can look at least to come down to the bottom of the channel. We did. We lost the channel. We came down to our golden pocket 786 area of support. We're bouncing, but on the bounce, after losing a macro trend like this macro 3-year long trend, after losing it, you'll often come up for a back test. Now, that back test also happened to be the golden pocket, pulled from the highs of the crash to the lows of the crash. And if you reject on the bearish back test, you lose the channel, you reject on the bearish back test, now you can assume you're going to come down and make new lows. And coming down to our weekly channel midline around 55 and maybe taking out the liquidity down here, even though it's not liquidity per se, would be really nice. So I do think that this possibly could roll over here and come down. Now, there is a scenario where we continue to grind up in dominance a little bit higher until we actually take out that high again into the top of the channel and then see the drop. But we want to see this start to roll over here and of course that would be nice for the altcoins. We are printing a hidden bear div on the daily. When was that? On Wednesday. Okay, BTC is going to crash, rejected the mid of the channel and falling. Okay, let's check that because we had that marked out at the beginning of the stream. 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I pulled the channel from this high to this next high down to the first low, and that's kind of what started this channel. But we tried to get back inside of the channel. Now we're falling below it. So what was that? Our golden pocket? It was probably our golden pocket. Yeah, we rejected from your golden pocket. And guys, at the beginning of the stream, I mentioned that we need to watch for a higher low or a lower high, excuse me, because we broke market structure bearishly. Just now on today's, we were building up. Remember, a lot of longs came in towards the top up here. If we look at our map up here, towards the top. What the heck? A lot of longs stepping in, open interest, new longs stepping in towards the top. They get trapped, and then there's that long squeeze, and now even earlier here we saw long stepping in, a little bit of long stepping in, and they could get squeezed out now again, and this squeeze could continue. But because we broke market structure bearishly by taking out that low, and we didn't SFP the lows of the channel. Remember, when you break an ascending channel, oftentimes you'll sweep the liquidity of the entire channel, all those liquidities. We did not, we double bottomed here. So I think that now that we're rejecting from our lower high golden pocket, break market structure, put in a lower high, reject from the most common area that you do reject on a lower high. Now we could at least be coming down to at least grab that liquidity of both the lows from today. It might be as simple as just a liquidity grab and then now continue chopping and forming a range here throughout the weekend or throughout Saturday. But it's likely that we could come down there now. And unfortunately, the bigger downtrend also could continue. We could come down to 101K. Remember, the most important thing for this week, the weekly close above or below this anchored VWAP at 107.4, 107.5. Daily candle yesterday, we were able to close it above the anchored VWAP. We wicked past it, but we were able to close it above. Still hope left for the bulls, that means. There's still a little bit of hope left for the bulls. But if we start to lose it and close weekly candles and daily candles below it, it could be confirming that, you know what, this is not going to be a nice head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders or model 2 accumulation, but we're going to keep dumping to 101K and then maybe even potentially to 96.5K. Is it SUI? Chainlink, I don't think it's too long to long. I don't think it's too late to long Chainlink, but I'm personally waiting for like that 14.3 area. And SUI, let's check SUI out real quick. SUI is losing the pitchfork band. So once again, just like AVAX, SUI's in this descending channel after the crash. You can see nice little descending channels forming after the crash. And if we do kind of grind our way down in this channel until we hit the bottom of the channel, like this general area of support, liquidity grab of the Coinbase lows into your pitchfork midline and into the bottom of the channel. It would actually be nice if we could grind throughout the whole weekend, you know, kind of maybe just grind here throughout the weekend and then come down next week, next Saturday, you know, or towards the end of next week would be really nice to hit the bottom there. But as far as our higher time frame analysis goes, let me hide this channel for a second. You can see that we're losing the upper band of the pitchfork. You know, rejection, upper band of the pitchfork, rejection, upper band of the pitchfork. Now we have not backtested yet, so this rise might come up to backtest that before coming down. And so that is coming in around 247-ish, 247.5 to 246.5, let's say, depending on time. But yeah, I think that we might be able to continue pushing down. The thing we saw, guys, very similar with this choppy, you know, trend and turn method, as Coons calls it, but you have a bunch of chop in here, a bunch of lower highs, 1 2 1 2 1 2. You get your big third wave down, and now we're going to see a bunch of 4 5s 4 5s 4 5s coming in here, kind of continuing to chop within this descending channel until we get down to that area. And then that could be the end of that impulsive structure, and then you'd want to impulse out of that. So I'm really looking to take out those lows and possibly even come all the way down to your pitchfork midline. It depends on how quick that happens, though. Let's see. Do we have anything else down there? I mean, we do have a fresh daily. Okay, never mind. That's been hit. Actually, why am I doing that? Let me just. Okay, so this daily was taken out yesterday. So actually, look at this. This daily was fresh, but yesterday we busted through it, and now we're back testing it as resistance today. You can see straight bust through the daily, and now it's acting as resistance for us. It was the lows that were from this daily low. So I'm going to get rid of that now because it's been busted through. And yeah, that monthly level actually has been taken out with the crash. Remember, we're going to open a new monthly candle tomorrow. So we could have a new monthly actually, we're going to have a new monthly resistance. I'm just going to mark that out right now because there's no way we're going to pump up that high. We're going to have a new monthly resistance coming in at 326. Yeah, honestly, I don't see us we could bounce from this general area, because if we take it, the dead cat bounce, golden pocket, it's kind of your golden pocket that was holding. So let me actually just throw this all the way over, and then you can see from the crash lows on Coinbase to our dead cat bounce highs, your golden pocket overall had been holding. Came down to golden pocket, held it, but made a lower high, held golden pocket again. We did break our internal highs, but now we're losing the golden pocket, and we're in the process of back testing it as resistance. So if we do, we're probably going to continue down. And the fact that did we hit the 786, because that'll let us know. Yeah, we even bounced from our 786 on yesterday's crash. So if we can't reclaim this golden pocket, I think there's nothing else keeping us from coming down to take out this liquidity at $2 and really coming down to, maybe even 192, 193. It would be also very nice because we could get that bull div come in. Lower lows, higher lows, and then also bull divs here. Money flow coming up here. Money flow coming up here. So could be a nice swing long position if we come down to that pitchfork midline again. Okay. Yeah, guys, if you do get anything out of this video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, I do have the Telegram community. If you're interested in joining the community, it's free to sign up. All you need to do is create a affiliate, click the affiliate link in the description to BYDFI in the description of this video. Create an account and deposit $100 into your exchange. That $100 is your money to trade with. You will get 20% discounts on trading fees, and you will get the 50% bonus. And then once you do that, just click the Telegram link in the description of the video, type in /verify in your user ID, which will be right up here, and that'll get you access to that Telegram group. Once you're in, you're in. And I think it's a win-win for everyone. You guys get discounts on trading fees, you guys get bonuses, and you get access to the Telegram group. And for me, I just get a percentage of the trading fees that you guys are already going to give to BYDFI anyways. Okay, let's check Bitcoin out real quick, and then I do got to get going, guys. It is Halloween, and I do have to bring the kiddo out. Well, I don't have to. I'm going to. We're losing the channel, so it's interesting. We were in this ascending channel. We lost it, made a double bottom, back tested, rejected, got back in, rejected the golden pocket. So now we might be coming up to back test the channel again. And that's going to be that like really micro time frame head and shoulders on the rejection of the channel. And then we could come take out those lows at 108.5. But it is going into the weekend. Saturday, I believe Saturday is going to be a slow day. We're probably just going to range within the range. Like if we go zoom out to the hourly chart, I think we might be ranging and starting to form a bottom in this general area. So that could be your range that develops over the weekend. And I would like, if we do come down a little bit lower, I mean, we need to hold that anchored VWAP by weekly close. Let's just say that. Weekly close above 107.5. If we close below it, we could be starting to come down to 101 and then even 96.5. But thank you guys so much for joining today. I really appreciate all of you so much. I will be live my normal schedule next week. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Videos on Mondays and Wednesdays around market close. I appreciate you all so much. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there for Halloween. Enjoy your Halloween. If you have kids or even if you don't, you're going to some Halloween parties. Enjoy yourselves.